Welcome to the Dad Pod. I'm Genevieve, aka Swag Dog.
I'm Dad, aka Robert, aka Swagger Dadder. And in this podcast, we discuss life,
Growing up,
music,
faith,
humor,
and facing challenges. We hope you enjoy.
Let's get into it.
Welcome to a highly requested episode 2 of the Dad Pod. Today we're going to be talking about
Favorite foods, travel, and social media. Nice controversial topic.
So our first topic is favorite foods, and we've broken it down into 4 categories, starting with...
Well, let's name the categories first, and then we'll go back through them. So, all right, we're gonna cover what is your favorite fast food, and then I'm also gonna ask what your favorite what your order is, then your favorite sit down restaurant, then your favorite family meal, and then your favorite thing to cook at home. So, Swag Dog, favorite fast food, and what is your order?
Okay, so I have kind of a mixture. In Texas, my favorite fast food restaurant has to be Chick-fil-A because there's a variety of things. If I'm feeling just a go-to order, it's definitely the number one sandwich with pickles. I know that's controversial, but with pickles. But if I'm feeling a little spicy or different that day, I'll go with their chicken wrap because it's actually really good, even though it sounds like gross. And then if I wasn't in Texas, I'd have to go with Culver's, but we don't have one in Tyler, in East Texas at least.
You got one in Houston.
In Houston, yes, but not in Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay, now.
Wait, you can't skip past Chick-fil-A without talking about the Chick-fil-A salad that we made.
Oh! Okay, so it's been a while since we've done our last episode, but recently we went to Chick-fil-A and did this little trend here, and we made a Chick-fil-A salad, which is a mix of chicken nuggets, Chick-fil-A fries, Chick-fil-A mac and cheese, and then Chick-fil-A sauce and buffalo ranch. And you mix it all together, make it a salad, and honestly, it's a lot better than it sounds. It's actually really good.
Except the fries get soggy.
Yeah, the fries do get soggy, so I would do less sauce and more actual food items if y'all wanted to try it.
Also have a Chick-fil-A hack that my buddy David Freeman, shout out to David Freeman, he taught me, and it is that he'll get the number one with no pickles. And the reason that he does that is that makes sure that the sandwich they make is fresh, because they have to make it right then, because they normally by default they put the pickles on there, so the sandwich has been sitting on the shelf for a while. But if he goes and says no pickles, they have to make a fresh one, and I think that's genius. Shout out, David.
Never heard that, but that's pretty cool. Okay, now on to you. What is your favorite fast food restaurant?
I should have thought about this before. Actually, I didn't give it much thought. I'm gonna say, I said this on another podcast, but it's so good that I've got to say Mr. Taco Jr. in White House. Does that count as fast food?
Sure.
Okay. So if you're not familiar with Mr. Taco Jr., it is in White House on Highway 110. It's hard to miss. You're going south on 110 toward the main intersection in White House. It's on the right, and it's fantastic. I get every time they have mini tacos. I think there's 5 that come with it, or 4. Get the barbacoa, get some jalapenos on there, and I don't know what they do to it, but they're the best tacos I've ever had.
Yes, I do agree they are really good, even though I'm not a big spicy person. Mm-hmm. But even just their normal plain tacos are really good too.
Yeah. Okay, so favorite sit down restaurant currently. This doesn't have to be like your all time favorite, and you can even say a couple. Like if it's a tie, you can do a couple, but you also have to to give your order. What's your order?
Okay, this is hard because
Yeah.
there's so many, but I think older me or younger me, I mean, probably would have said Mercados because we went there a lot, and we have like a lot of good memories there. And I would always get the chicken quesadilla because I wasn't a very big like Mexican food person, I guess, but that was just a classic meal and a classic place to go. But now I really like sitting down at the Grove, and the Grove burger. It just like nobody else makes it like that, and it's just
Yeah.
so good.
What do they do different? Do you think? Because the best burger in Tyler is an ongoing conversation that I have with many different people. But I agree that the Grove Burger is up at the top. What do they put on it for those who are not familiar?
I haven't been there in a while, so I don't really remember. But they put some type of like arugula or lettuce, some type of green, and then they have a certain sauce that they make, like there, and nowhere else has it. And then it has crispy
Onion
rings, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big onion person, but those were. It just works.
Yeah, it does. The Grove is always good. I do love the Grove. Also agree on the burger, but pretty much everything they have there is really good. Lately, sit down restaurant. I really enjoy. What am I thinking? Of course, I know. My favorite sit down restaurant in Tyler, as well as your mom's, is the Black Pearl downtown. We love going to the Black Pearl. It's like a oyster, seafood, northeast, lobster, crab cakes, great cocktails, things like that. It's just really different, and it's small, and it's got a great vibe. Love going there. So I'm going to say Black Pearl. Yeah. And I always get the, not always, but my favorite thing to get there is the crab roll, not the lobster roll. I don't know why, but I like the crab better. So there you go.
Yeah. I've actually never been to Black Pearl.
Right.
So when he says we, he means him and his wife.
Yes.
Okay, next topic.
What are your favorite family meals, or if you have a single family meal that we eat regularly? What is it?
Well, recently we've made a lot of meat, and I'd have to say all of the meat meals have always been really good. But like steak and potatoes and whatever vegetable we have on the side, that's always a good family meal. And also smash burgers. We've been making our own smash burgers lately, and they're beyond amazing. They're just so different. And ribs.
Yeah.
Haven't made those in a while, but those are good.
True. What is your favorite cut of steak? We usually do either fillets or ribeyes, but we've also done New York strips. What do you think?
I'd probably have to go with probably the fillet. It's just, I've always liked that one.
Yep.
And you can't really go wrong with it.
Medium rare?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Favorite family meals. Any kind of burgers. This is a recurring theme. I just love a good burger. I definitely think that we have perfected the art of the smash burger. Even the burgers on the smokers, those are good. So I'm just going to say burger.
Yeah. Okay, and our last topic for the food section.
Favorite things to cook. I'm just going to go quick, and barbecue for me all day long. I love.
I don't cook a lot, but recently I've been making different types of eggs and a, a mix of an avocado toast egg mixture for breakfast and lunch and dinner, like whenever I'm feeling
Yeah.
it. It's just something easy to make. And then I bake more than I cook,
That's right.
but baking is just easier in my opinion.
One more thing. I make this almost every day. Breakfast tacos. I perfected the art of the breakfast taco. I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah. It's something that not many people experience except for the people in this household and maybe some guests. And I'm just going to say you're missing out.
Amen.
Okay. So now that we're done with foods, we're going to move on to travel. And this is a big topic for both of us because we're both big travel people.
Yep.
So,
Let's talk about first. What trips have you taken in the past, or what are some of the trips you've taken in the past, and which ones are your favorites and why?
well, since last time we met, I went on a backpacking trip with my church. There was only 5 of us. It was 3 kids and 2 adults. I was the only girl, which was honestly, I really liked it. It was fun to just like hike in the mountains, and I haven't done backpacking in a while. But backpacking is like a big thing because when I was, how old was I when we went?
You were probably 5 or 6, maybe something like that.
So when I was 5 or 6, me and my dad went on a backpacking trip, and it was a very short hike to get there, but it was really fun, and it's like something that's stuck in my memory, or kind of. And so backpacking, this was kind of like, I guess it brought it back even more. And
Wait. Let's be clear. You had a little flower Under Armour backpack, and I had the backpack and another backpack like strapped on the front. So I'm glad that it was a good memory for you, but I definitely felt like a pack mule. I'd do it again.
Yeah. But this one was a lot different than that. We were hiking at least 10, 8, 6, somewhere around that range miles every day.
It's a good distance.
And then camping at night, and it was really fun. So shout out to Dayspring, because that was a very good traveling experience for me.
Other trips you've taken?
Vail, Colorado. It was just gorgeous out there. Mountains in the summer. It was cool. We had a lot of fun. And then we went to Seaside one year. That was really fun too.
Yep. I'm gonna answer that question too, but I'm gonna jump to our next question. Is put you on the spot. If you had to choose mountain or beach, what are you choosing?
Mountains all the way.
Yeah.
I definitely like beaches, but I just enjoy mountains more.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's no question for me. I think Mom and Emmy would say beach, and that's cool. Always love being in the mountains. Trips I've taken in the past, done a lot of traveling. The first one that comes to mind is one of my favorites. It wasn't the easiest, but it definitely was one of the most important ones for me. It just happened at the right time of life. I spent a summer in Brazil on the Amazon River. Actually, it was in a little town that was near the Amazon River on a tributary, but we would go up and down the river in a boat, and we would do clinics and things like that in the villages. Really incredible experience for lots of different reasons. What other trips? One of my favorite places to go right now is this time of year in particular, and I went last weekend, is to go up to Beaver's Bend in Oklahoma, because it is a legit trout fishery. I love to fly fish. I told somebody today that if you I have a lot of different hobbies, but if you were to take away all of them and say I could only have one, it would probably be fly fishing. And so love going up to Beaver's Bend. It's a super complicated river to fish, and I love it. Yeah. Upcoming trips. What have you got coming up?
I don't know, actually. Do we have any upcoming trips? Like big ones?
We're working on spring break, and we're working on summer. It's a possibility we might do Seattle and Vancouver this summer. Spring break, I'm going to be in Los Angeles. And currently we're thinking maybe y'all can come too, or maybe y'all could do a girls thing and go somewhere else. I don't know. But those are coming up.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right. So then finally, let's talk about dream trips. Where would you go if you could go anywhere?
Right now, like as of right now, I'm really excited to go to Vancouver at some point, because Vancouver, it's just like the way y'all talk about it, it seems just so cool. And I've seen pictures. It's mountains and beaches.
That's right. Oh, that's right.
So it would be...
Maybe you don't have to choose.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Dream trips for me, they're going to involve outdoor activities like destination, fly fishing trips. So I think like Argentina, or I've never been to Alaska. I need to go to Alaska, or New Zealand, fly fishing New Zealand. I definitely have, I want to go on an elk hunt out west. I've never done that. I've always wanted to. But you and Emmy keep getting more expensive and keeps me from going. I'm just kidding. But yeah, most of my dream trips involve adventures. So there we go.
Yeah, dream trips, most of them for me would probably have to be outdoor stuff. I've seen a lot. Okay, this will get into our next section too perfectly. I've seen a lot of stuff on TikTok about like beautiful mountain sunsets where you climb up to the top of the mountain during the day, and then you're at the top of the mountain during sunset, and it's just, it looks absolutely amazing. And that's one thing that I really want to do sometime in the future. But moving on to our next section,
yeah, let's talk about social media. Speaking of social media, so specifically, we got an opportunity here to get into the topic of social media and teenagers and the teenage brain, and nobody knows what we're doing here. We're just trying to do the best that we can, and like you figure out one thing and then another app comes up and it changes, so it's like changing every day. But as a 14, soon to be 15-year-old, give us your brief experience, like with social media. Like, when did you start using it more actively, and your general thoughts? What is good about it, and what are the dangers? And yeah, you're closer to this topic than I am, so give us your perspective on social media as a 14, 15-year-old.
Okay, so as a 14, 15-year-old in today's world, it's a huge thing. It's probably a bigger thing than it should be. And I personally think that it can be both good and bad, but I use it for good. And I haven't had it for that long either. I've gotten it in the past few years. Well, first of all, the things that I have right now are TikTok, Snapchat, and I guess you could say Be Real. And all of them have their ups and downs. TikTok I use for entertainment. Snapchat has been honestly one of my favorites in some ways, because I've connected to so many people from other places. We used to live in Michigan, and I have probably 10 people on there that are from Michigan, and I would not have connected to them if I was not on Snapchat. And we actually went to Michigan for New Year's, and that's how I kind of like got connected to them and started talking.
How was that trip, by the way? Since we didn't talk about that when we talked about recent trips.
It was a good trip.
Yeah.
It was honestly it was so different than I remember. Or there were things that were different, I guess, but then again, it was like the same.
Yep.
But it was good to go back.
Okay. So those are some of the good things. I like that you use the word connection, particularly with people that you might not have been connected to otherwise. I definitely agree with that. What are some of the dangers, would you say, or even if you are comfortable going there, what are some dangers that you have already encountered, but you don't have to?
Some bad things. I mean, obviously, just I don't really know anything like specific.
Yeah.
Off of the top of my head.
Inappropriate content.
Yeah.
Mixed in with good content.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about like there are some people who think that that with developing brains, like being so hyper connected all the time creates things like anxiety and depression. Have you experienced any of that, or do you know anybody who's experienced any of that?
No, I haven't. I don't really know anybody that has, but I know it can happen. But then again, I don't know anybody that has experienced it. It's just kind of like some people do.
It's also, it comes down to the person who's using the social media, like what kind of person you are, what kind of person I am. If I'm a good person in general in life when I'm not on social media, then I'm more likely to use social media in more appropriate ways. And does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I, different perspective. I remember the world before there was social media, so I'm still a little bit disoriented. But I typically use social media, honestly, for I follow businesses that I like. I also use it primarily to follow accounts that have inspirational or content. Like for there's some accounts specifically to encourage dads and give tips for dads. My background and studying philosophy, things like that. There are accounts that like post quotations from philosophers, and so those are some of the ways that I like to use it. I also enjoy just like sharing different pieces of our life. I think we have a fun life, and it's fun to share that with people. So you started using social media primarily this year as a freshman, like TikTok, Snapchat, and do you think that age roughly is the appropriate time for any parents that are listening or kids that are trying to navigate that right now?
Yes. But first, for those of you who did not understand his big words that he was using, basically, he uses social media for some boring, inspirational dad stuff. If you really want to know, like, what the fun side of all this social media stuff is, you can ask me. Because
wait, no, I'm going to call you out on that because who sends you outfits of the day? I do OOTDs.
Both of us.
Okay, all right. So I use Snapchat. I am on Snapchat, and I use it for outfits of the day.
With, like, me and mom, and that's it.
Yeah. We kind of covered this next question. We kind of covered it. Wait a second. Did we answer the question? What age is appropriate? Like when you started using? Do you think freshman year, 14? Like.
Yeah, I think going into high school, you're finally getting surrounded into older people, and having older people around, it's kind of, I don't really know. But personally, I think freshman year is a good time to get into it because you're kind of getting into the world of being older and more mature and learning about the things that are happening around you and online, I guess.
Yeah. We covered this a little bit, but one argument against social media is that it prevents like real life connections with people and real relationships. What's your opinion on that?
I think it can prevent it, but then again, it can't. Like with my Michigan friends,
Yeah.
it can lead to, what are they called? Real connections.
Yeah.
Real connections. But then again, some people, they communicate over social media so much that they've kind of forgotten how to speak in real life, kind of type thing. Like, I don't really know how else to explain it.
Yep. So it works best, I think, like, yeah, staying connected to people on the other side of the country or other side of the world. But I think it can also accentuate existing relationships too, because like real in-person relationships are the most important, but then you can add another dimension to those relationships if you want, you know? Yeah. So the other criticism or argument against social media is that it can be dangerous. Like people can use it in ways that try to target young children and things like that. Have you encountered anything like that, or anybody you know?
Yes, kind of. I'm not gonna get into the details of it, but yeah, I've run into one thing. That's it, though. One thing, and it actually just happened like yesterday. So,
can you give a general idea of the sort of thing that it was? Or would you rather not say?
I can. It was. Well, let's just say that when you're using social media, don't put out things you don't want other people to be seeing. That you don't want to see. I guess, because it's gonna get passed around.
Gotcha. I think that's enough said.
Yeah.
We've heard stories about that. So, okay. That was favorite foods, travel, social media. What else do we need to cover? Anything? Or is that it?
I think that's really it. But if you do have suggestions for topics over the next episodes, please tell us, because we're up for it. And we just started this, so we don't have a huge idea of what we're doing and what y'all are interested in. So just let us know.
Yeah, we're going to, some ideas. We want to talk about music. We're going to do some reviews of like products, movies, TV shows. We'll get into relationships. We can get into church and faith and spirituality. We can get into favorite memories. We want to talk about goals, things like this. So those are some of the things that we want to talk about in future episodes. And then anything else you guys want to hear about too. Or we can also do some Q&A. If you guys got questions, send those our way and we'll work them in.
Yeah. Or we can always just make a whole podcast full of jokes. Yes. But speaking of jokes, we have a little extra segment for y'all to listen to once this episode is over.
Yeah.
So is there anything else before we get them into that?
I think that's it. All right. Until next time.
Bye. Welcome to the Dad Pod. I'm Genevieve, aka Swag Dog.
I'm Dad.